can see, and this is one of the more important things. You see this right here? You see this right here? This is Caitlyn's agent. This is Caitlyn Clark's agent.
Let's cut through the noise. Strip away the jerseys, the arena lights, the hype, and zoom in on one moment. One image. Caitlyn Clark standing in the tunnel at Barclays Center, deep in conversation with New York Liberty players and staff. The cameras were locked on her. But the real story was standing right next to her. That's not just anyone. That's Erin Kane, Caitlyn Clark's agent. And her presence in that tunnel? That wasn't a coincidence. That was a message. What you're about to hear isn't just another "maybe she's unhappy" rumor. This is bigger. This is the story of how one of the most powerful agents in professional sports might be using the biggest weapon any player has, the renegotiation of the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement, to stage one of the most calculated moves in league history. This is the story behind the story. The one the headlines aren't telling you. The WNBA's CBA negotiations. The current collective bargaining agreement, it's being renegotiated right now. And that's huge. The CBA is the blueprint for how the league works. Salaries, trades, player rights, rookie deals, everything.
We have just seen the New York Liberty players after the game meeting up with Caitlyn Clark. It is Stewie, it is Sabrina Ionescu, there is Sandy Brondolo. And by the way, Stewie is not leaving New York the rest of her career. That is one thing that I will be 99% sure of. That Stewie is not leaving. New York. Sabrina is not going to leave New York. I think there is a 50-50 chance Caitlyn Clark leaves Indiana.
Now, skeptics love to say, come on, Clark's locked in until 2028. She's on a rookie contract. She can't force anything. But that thinking, that's outdated. That's rooted in the old WNBA, before a player like Caitlyn Clark came along. Because Erin Kane isn't just playing by the existing rules, he's working to change the rules. He's not trying to get his client a simple trade behind closed doors. He's positioning her as the face of a larger movement, one that uses her immense visibility, her undeniable fan base, and this growing rift with the Fever to expose the cracks in the current system. It's a power play. By keeping Clark front and center, while publicly showing the tension and misalignment in Indiana, Kane is building a narrative. One that says, if even Caitlyn Clark isn't protected, isn't empowered, isn't heard, then no one is. That becomes leverage, not just in headlines, but in the collective bargaining room, where real change gets written into contracts. And that's where Kane's real move lives. Not in trying to break Clark out early, but in reshaping the WNBA into a league where players like her won't have to ask permission. Let me know if you'd like this embedded into the larger video script or shortened for...
We're obviously marketing around all of our players, but I think Caitlyn's lifting everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Our arenas are packed, our viewership. I mean, this is a key part of why I was hired, is to look at how to bring in new viewers, new fans, the demographic. We're one of the most diverse demographics in sports, both on the court and now our viewership.
Yeah. It rocks, by the way, when you're in the stadium. We went and loved it.
Imagine this. Clark's situation becomes the case study in negotiations. Her being misused. The injuries, the disconnect, all of it. It becomes fuel for a new CBA that gives players more freedom. Shorter rookie contracts, earlier opt-outs, looser trade restrictions. And guess what? That doesn't just benefit Caitlyn Clark. That benefits every star in the league. Especially when you consider what's coming next. Here's what most fans don't realize. 87.5% of the 2025 WNBA All-Stars will be unrestricted free agents in 2026. Let that sink in. Nearly 9 out of every 10 marquee players in the league will have the power to walk away from their teams next season. No matching rights, no franchise tags, no strings attached. That's not just a free agency class. That's a full-blown shift in power, a potential league-wide reshuffling. And in that kind of climate, every narrative, every relationship, every locker room dynamic matters. If stars feel disrespected or overlooked, like many believe Aja Wilson has, they'll remember. If rookies feel overused or unsupported, like some fear is happening with Caitlyn Clark, they'll remember too. The 2026 offseason isn't just a business deadline, it's a powder keg. And how the league handles this next stretch could define its future for the next decade.
Even without Caitlin Clark, it was the second highest rated WNBA All-Star game ever, and that is a huge point of distinction. Two things are clear. If Caitlin Clark plays in the All-Star game, it will set records. But now, because of her popularity, even if she doesn't, it will break records and be the second highest ever. Only beaten by the time she played in it. And that matters. That's why the women, despite you guys not liking the t-shirts they wore, pay us, you owe us, that's why the women have the leverage. And this is what Tiger Woods did to the PGA Tour. Yes, Tiger made the most money, but he raised the purses in all tournaments and made a lot of people rich. That was the key. So this All-Star rating is proving, despite losing 1 million viewers from last year, is that she has risen the entire league. This league is now a topic on all sports shows on all sports networks. I'm watching the highlights this morning. Comes right before the Cowboys. So, and people say, well, the last 25 years it's lost money. Guys, have any of you guys business people? That doesn't matter much. You don't even have to make a profit to sell your company for millions and millions of dollars. I use the example of The Athletic being purchased by the New York Times. It was losing $45 million a year, and they're very happy today because it breaks more stories than any sports section probably of my life. It's very relevant, The Athletic. It's not real profitable, but it adds scale to the New York Times. So it's a great investment, very worthy investment. And this is the point. All negotiations in business, in all sectors, it could be tech, it could be media, law, it doesn't matter, are all about timing. The WNBA is hot and the contract's up. Now, if the contract would have been up 1 hour before Caitlin Clark was drafted, that's a different ballgame. You'd be projecting on something you didn't know. But now we have numbers. Now we have 2 back-to-back All-Star ratings. Sets a record, and even if gone, highest in 19 years, except for the one game with her that set the record. And here's the other thing, is that this is not a woke opinion, is that league valuations for all these investors have increased in 1 year 168%. That's not the fever. The fever with Caitlin's evaluation has gone up 273%. The rest of the teams on average have risen by 100% or 168%, and all of them at least 100%. So if you're an investor, the contract's up, you're negotiating, and your investment's gone up 100% in the last year minimum. Average is 168%. You're selling it? I'll give you an example. Is that in the last year, the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, has had a franchise, an expansion franchise. They're using the Warriors Arena. They sell out all their home games. That's not about Caitlin Clark. So some of you guys out there on the internet, you are epidemiologists, you're experts in politics. You're not very good business people. You're all caught up on, well, the previous 25 years. They're hot now. And the negotiations are currently in session.
Let's lay it all out, step by calculated step. This isn't chaos, it's a blueprint. Step 1, the tunnel photo. Clark walking arm in arm with Sabrina Ionescu after a Liberty game. It wasn't just a feel-good moment, it was a signal, a carefully timed image that turned quiet rumors into loud headlines. It let the Fever front office know, eyes are watching. Step 2, leverage the noise. Every debate on sports talk shows, every viral post about her frustration becomes fuel. It's not just drama, it's ammunition. Clark's visible discontent becomes a rallying cry in upcoming CBA negotiations. The strongest case yet for increasing player power, flexibility, and market choice. Step 3, corner Indiana. The Fever now face a dilemma. Either they adapt, give Clark more say in personnel decisions and system design, or they risk being remembered as the franchise that mishandled the most valuable player the league's ever seen. And if they don't bend? That photo, that narrative, that growing storm of public support, it all sets the stage for something bigger. A forced trade, a historic shift, a league redefining itself in real time. Checkmate. This isn't a tantrum. This is the modern blueprint for WNBA superstars. This is the start of something much bigger than just one player or one team. Now we want to hear from you. Is this a brilliant strategic play from Aaron Kane or a risky gamble that could backfire on Clark? Is this how the WNBA moves forward, or does it threaten to fracture what the league's built? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you want more real analysis, less fluff, more substance, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Because this story, it's just getting started.